Advanced planning during the pre-construction stage is the key for a successful steel erection program. The project site needs to be assessed prior to the delivery of materials. It is the dealer's responsibility to verify the placement dimensions on the manufacturer's anchor bolt setting plan. It is the contractor's responsibility to ensure the readiness of the site to receive materials. Normally, this means that all foundations, backfill, and grading is complete so that the erector has free and easy access to the entire building floor area, along with the perimeter area surrounding the building foundation. The erector will then unload, stage, and shake out building materials within this area so that multiple material handling is minimized. The erector should verify everything that is shipped. The builder should provide his own dunnage for proper stacking of materials. It is wise for the builder to obtain builder's risk insurance because it is his responsibility once he takes possession of the materials. The locations and storage areas for the structural steel as well as other necessary items should be well planned. Whether you are having the materials unloaded to immediately erect or to be stored for later erections, the materials must be properly unloaded and placed so that they won't be damaged. You should have proper equipment when unloading, usually with a forklift or a crane. Never walk on items stored on the ground. The greatest care is to protect sheeting and trim. When building erection is to begin immediately upon unloading, lay out the primary structural steel for easy pre-assembly, leaving necessary access so materials won't need to be moved a second time. Assembling components on the ground is safer as well as saving man-hours. How much pre-assembly can be done depends on the type and size of job. The erector should have the proper staff. He should have the proper tools. He should have the proper bonding insurance. There are a number of field practices for safe worker attitudes involving all field personnel. A committed safety program is an absolute. Adequate tools to do the job is one of the most important items that an erection crew needs, as they need to maintain these tools so that they're in top performance at all times. All hardware, including tools and other erection materials, should be placed in a secure area, either inside a building or with larger items in a lighted area. The first portion of the erection is settling the columns and consequently the beams. The builder-erector may elect to erect columns and wall framing components ahead of rafter erection, but should only erect as much steel as can be adequately stabilized within the working day. There are a number of field practices for safe worker attitudes involving all field personnel. Good common sense rules can save a lot of money and also a lot of injuries. And part of the common sense is to install in your workforce the thought that drugs and alcohol have no place in the erection of metal buildings. While each job will vary according to the size or site conditions, the layout typifies an arrangement which offers conveniences for assembly. Columns and roof beams are laid in position for raising. Girts, purlins, columns, and braces are divided according to the requirements of each bay. Each part is numbered for quick identification. Carefully check these numbers to ensure that the correct parts and quantities have been received. Add corner columns, sidewall girts, and eave struts. Then proceed with end wall columns. Once the erection procedure has begun, erection crews and machinery must have access to that portion of the building which is under construction. Without proper bracing, the building system is vulnerable to wind or equipment. Check out the squareness of the building, all the anchor bolts, and also mark the center lines of those. Go around and shoot the elevations. Put the metal shims under each column and have it so that you have a square and a plumb setting for the metal building. Some structural member damage may be superficial and have no negative effect on structural integrity. Structural members which are damaged or do not fit should not be modified without the approval of the manufacturer. A final connection inspection of the structural steel should also be made to ensure all bolts are in place and properly tightened. Bolt grades and tightening procedures vary with the type of connection. The primary high-strength bolts require a specific tightening procedure. Secondary bolts sometimes do not. Initializing all completed connections helps prevent an incomplete connection from going unnoticed. The skeletal structural steel, when completed, should include all primary and secondary framing, with all flange braces, cable bracing, girts, purlins, support angles, and other miscellaneous structural components in place. Add all field cut openings, walk door openings, window openings, and base angle. It is advisable to measure the girt spacings before drilling the wall panels. Mistakes can be avoided by drilling a test sheet and checking for proper alignment before drilling a stack of about 6 sheets. Pre-drilling the wall panels not only improves appearance, it saves time. Blanket insulation and sheeting should be installed at the same time. The insulation seam should be offset from the wall panel seams and extend past the lapping edge of the steel panel. Architectural eave trim with die-formed roof and wall closures adds beauty, designed to provide maximum weather protection. Pre-drill only those panels you expect to erect that day. Care should be taken to remove all drill filings within the stack to prevent their discoloring and staining the finish. To avoid any inadvertent water wicks, the insulation should be trimmed to length before installing each panel. Opposite slope panel ribs must be carefully aligned when working with a nestable ridge cap. Proper fit-up and integrity of the ridge conditions simply cannot be achieved without proper alignment. Workers should never walk or stand on the major panel ribs. This can open up the lap joint and destroy the weather tightness of the roof. Eave and rake trim flashing should be installed simultaneously or shortly following the sheeting operation. The overall appearance of the completed building is greatly affected by the appearance of the trim. The finished appearance of any structure is a direct reflection of the builder's attitude toward quality, and that finished appearance depends greatly on the appearance of the trim. Accessory items chosen for their function and appearance soon become integrated into the general building appearance. For this reason, they must receive the same care and attention during installation as the paneling and trim. Through close planning with you on all phases of your project, Rockford can make your building a success, saving you time and money.